Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me.
Today we're diving into TCL TVs, and boy, are they making some waves in the TV world.
Yeah, they're really shaking things up, offering some great features at prices that are, well, kind of hard to beat.
Exactly. We're going to break it all down for you. The pros, the cons, all the juicy details so you can find the perfect TCL TV for your setup. Ready to dive in?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, let's start with the top dog, the one that gets all the buzz.
The QM8, right?
You got it. The QM8, or the QM851G QLED to be exact. Why is this one considered the best of the best?
Well, picture quality, hands down, especially in brighter rooms.
What's so special about it for bright rooms?
This thing's bright, like really bright.
Okay, so it can handle a sunny living room.
Oh yeah, no problem. Sunlight, lamps, reflections, it just laughs at them.
That's impressive.
And it's not just about the brightness, this thing has awesome black levels too.
Deep blacks, why are they so important? I mean, everyone talks about them, but...
They make a world of difference, especially for movies with those like really dark scenes. Think space movies, you know, with all the stars. You get those deep blacks and the stars just pop. The whole picture just looks more realistic, more immersive.
Like you're actually in space.
Exactly. And the QM8 really nails that.
So good for both bright rooms and dark movie nights. That's a win-win.
Yeah.
But let's talk gaming, because I know you love your games. How does the QM8 hold up for gamers?
Oh, this TV is a gamer's dream. First of all, super low input lag.
Input lag, remind me what that is again?
It's basically the delay between you pressing a button on your controller and the action happening on screen.
Ah, right.
The lower the lag, the more responsive it feels.
Yeah.
And the QM8, it's practically instant. No lag to mess up your game.
Nice. What else?
It's got HDMI 2.1 bandwidth.
Fancy. What does that mean in, like, normal terms?
It means this TV can handle 4K resolution at a buttery smooth 144 Hz refresh rate.
4K I get, but 144 hertz.
That's a refresh rate you usually only see on high-end gaming monitors.
So this is like having a super fast monitor, but it's a TV.
Basically, yeah. And there's another port that can do 1080p at a crazy 240 Hz.
Okay, now we're just showing off. But seriously, what does that mean for, like, the average person watching TV or playing games?
Smoother motion, basically, like way smoother. Everything looks clearer, more responsive. Whether you're watching an action movie or playing a fast-paced game, it's gonna look amazing.
So no more blurry explosions or anything like that?
Nope, everything's crisp and clear.
I like the sound of that. And what about VRR? I keep hearing about that for gaming.
Oh yeah, the QM8 supports all the major VRR technologies.
So no screen tearing or stuttering.
Exactly. Smooth sailing all the way.
Wow. It's like they designed this TV specifically for gamers.
Pretty much.
But it can't be perfect, right? There's going to be something, some downside, some tiny flaw.
Well, there is one small thing. In really dark scenes, you might see a bit of black smudging, especially during transitions.
Like smudging.
Yeah, like a little trail behind moving objects. It's very subtle, though, nothing major.
Okay, not a deal breaker. But if you're super picky about your blacks,
You might notice it.
good to know. And this model, it's only available in those big sizes, right?
Yeah, the smallest one is 65 inches. This TV is for people who want a massive, immersive experience.
Got it. Big screen, big features, big price tag probably.
It's definitely an investment, but the performance is top-notch. It scores an 8.5 overall, 9.0 for gaming, and 8.7 for HDR movies and even PC use.
Okay, so to recap, the QM8 is bright, has amazing blacks, and it's a gaming beast. If you're looking for the best of the best and you have the space for it,
This is the one.
to check it out for yourself, click the link in the description. Now let's move on to something a little more affordable. The QM7, also known as the QM751G QLED. This one's considered the best mid-range TCL TV. So what's the story with this one?
Well, it shares a lot of the same DNA as the QM8, just dialed back a bit.
So same great features, just not as, like, extreme.
You got it.
So what are we sacrificing here?
The biggest difference is the brightness. The QM7 is still very bright, handles most rooms just fine.
But not quite as eye-searing as the QM8.
Exactly. And you might notice a bit more reflection if you've got a lot of light hitting the screen directly.
Okay, so a little less bright, but still good for most setups. What about the black levels? Any noticeable difference there?
The blacks are decent, but not as deep and inky as the QM8. You might notice a bit of blooming, especially around bright objects in dark scenes.
Blooming, that's the halo effect, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, so some minor differences in picture quality. But what about those gaming features? Does the QM7 still deliver in that department?
Oh yeah, it actually has all the same gaming features as the QM8, HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, 4K at 144 Hz, 1080p at 240 Hz, low input lag, minimal motion blur. It's a gaming powerhouse.
No compromises there. That's awesome. So for gamers on a tighter budget, this is a great option.
Definitely.
And how do the scores compare to the QM8?
It still scores very well. 8.1 overall, 8.7 for gaming, and 8.5 for PC use.
Not bad at all for a mid-range model. If you're interested in the TCL QM7, you can find a link in the description. Now let's talk about the budget-minded folks out there. The Q6 or the Q651G QLED, considered the best budget TCL TV. What can we expect from this one?
The Q6 is all about value. It's not going to blow you away with its picture quality.
Okay, but it's not terrible, right?
No, not at all. It's perfectly decent, especially at this price point.
So what are its strengths?
Well, it offers a wide range of colors and can handle 1440p resolution at a smooth 120 Hz.
Okay, not bad.
And it even supports VRR for smoother gaming.
So decent resolution, smooth refresh rate, and VRR. That's pretty impressive for a budget model, but there have to be some compromises, right?
Of course. The brightness and reflection handling aren't great for really bright rooms.
Okay, so maybe not for a sunroom.
Probably not the best choice. And it lacks local dimming, so blacks can look a bit grayish in dark scenes.
Not those deep, inky blacks we were talking about earlier.
Right. And the colors, while wide-ranging, aren't as vibrant. You might also notice a bit more motion blur.
So you get what you pay for, but it still sounds decent for the price. What about sizes? Any limitations there?
Actually, the Q6 comes in a huge range of sizes, from 43 inches all the way up to 98 inches.
Well, that's a lot of options.
Yeah.
So if you're on a tight budget but still want a good size 4K TV, this is worth considering.
Absolutely.
And the scores?
7.3 overall, 7.7 for gaming.
Not bad at all for a budget model. To learn more about the TCL Q6, click the link in the description. All right, let's move on to another interesting model, the Q68 QLED Pro. This one seems to be in a category of its own. Where does it fit in the TCL lineup?
You're right, the Q68 is a bit of a wild card. Price-wise and performance-wise, it sits right between the Q6 and the QM7.
So like a middle child.
Kinda, yeah.
Huh?
It's a nice step up from the Q6, but not quite as premium as the QM7.
So what are its strengths? What makes it stand out?
The brightness is a big one. It's much brighter than the Q6. Noticeable difference in a well-lit room.
Okay, good to know. What else?
The contrast is better too. Deeper blacks, more immersive picture.
Always a plus. Any downsides?
The main drawback is the size options. It doesn't come in as many sizes as some of the other models.
Limited sizes, but a good balance of price and performance.
Right.
What about specs and features? Anything interesting there?
It's got a 60 Hz refresh rate, pretty standard, but it jumps to 120 Hz when you enable VRR game mode.
So gamers can still get that smooth motion.
Absolutely. And it supports HDR Pro Plus, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos.
Wow, all the fancy acronyms.
It means you'll get a fantastic HDR experience with great colors and immersive audio.
Sounds pretty impressive for a mid-tier model. What sizes does it come in?
55, 65, 75, and 85 inches.
All right, not bad. So the Q68 is a solid middle ground, brighter and better contrast than the Q6, plus some nice features like Dolby Vision and Atmos. To see if it's right for you, click the link in the description.
Yeah, I think we've given our listeners a pretty comprehensive overview of the TCL lineup.
It's amazing how many different options they have, something for every budget and every need.
They've really carved out a niche for themselves by offering a lot of value for the price. And they keep innovating, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in different price categories.
It's been awesome chatting about all these TVs with you. I learned a ton, and I'm sure our listeners did too.
Me too! Always fun to dive deep into the world of TVs.
Before we go, remind everyone where they can find more info on all the TVs we discussed.
All the links are in the description below.
Perfect. And that brings us to the end of another deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another exciting exploration of the tech world.